It's the start of another month. Thanks for joining me, Libra. It's your brief monthly horoscope with me, Didici, from astrology.com.au. And last month we had that incredible solar eclipse with retrograde Mercury there in the 10th house or career sector of your horoscope. This month, if you keep your eye on the moon as it swings around down here in the lower part of your horoscope, you are going to see that we are in for another eclipse, a lunar eclipse, which is the planet ruling your career, moving around here into the 4th house of your horoscope. Now that's good. The 10th ruler, or the planet that rules your career, is getting brighter and brighter up to the 5th. It makes contact with the south node here on the 4th, which shows maybe some sort of backwards reminiscence, and that's also shown by these 3 retrograde planets here, plus Mercury still retrograde here in the 4th house. So this has more to do about your happiness. It's more to do with how you feel about yourself and what you do with your work. And so that's why the heading of the monthly reading is happiness is a decision. And I think that's going to be the important focal point for you this month. You've got to be careful not to let others dominate your state of mind, shown here by Mars in the 7th house. Mars is a very aggressive planet. It gets power by being in its own sign this month. And you'll see here that preceding the conjunction to Mars, this connection to Neptune, again in the 6th house, which is a work-related sector, could create some confusion. You see there the favourable aspect to the Sun with directional strength in your career area, very, very good, but then carrying a little bit of that confusion here and then making contact on the 11th with Mars in the 7th house could mean that you're transferring the nebulous energy, the confusing, misinterpretive energy of Neptune into your most personal relationships. There also you see there's a very powerful militant, I call it militant, a square, a right angle between the Sun and Mars. So that's a hot spot for you in the month in terms of your relationships with others. Notice on the 12th, Mercury does go forward. If you've got a beef or an axe to grind with someone, you're probably best to wait till after the moon makes its conjunction to Mars and Mercury goes direct. That way you're not relying on this Neptune energy to make your assessments or your judgments. They are often faulty, as you know from the retrograde movement of Mercury. You still have all of these other retrograde planets, but I think these may also have something to do with the domestic aspect of your life. What to do with your home life, your neighborhood, real estate, renting. Moon makes a contact with Venus, your ruling planet in the upper part of your horoscope, and this is an important planetary point we should talk about. 9th house is your values. It's moving through Gemini, which is, as you know, the double-bodied sign. It can give you a split view of what you need to be doing. Sometimes, along with your already somewhat indecisive nature, Libra being an air sign, having your ruling planet there in the mutable sign of Gemini can make you extremely indecisive. Look at that. That's not helped by the right angle there from your ruler to Neptune, again in the 6th house. Some good news there around the 22nd. The new moon takes place around the 20th. There in your 10th house, which is the career house, then quickly moving to the 11th house of fulfillment of desires, along with the Sun, which then also moves into that 11th house. Now, the new moon up here, where it took place, 19th, 20, 21, that period indicates a big change in your work. And I think that's going to be springboarding off that solar eclipse I mentioned earlier, last month, and then giving you the fulfillment there by the Sun moving into the 11th house. This is a very social period starting around the 21st, 22nd. It's a month-long period. Do take note, however, there can be some sudden or unexpected changes when Uranus is involved here. especially when it's in the 8th house. Do not get drawn into loaning money or borrowing money from friends. That can be thrust upon you rather suddenly, because that is the nature of Uranus to do that. So the important points here are the new opportunities in your work with the new moon here, this 4th house full moon, which shows that your work seems to be the predominant factor here, and the cautionary note that I've suggested to you based upon Mars here in those right angles to planets in the 10th house, career, relationships, co-workers. Just hold back until those planets go forward before making your pronouncements. Don't make those statements until you're absolutely certain of the facts and figures, because that can be part of the error under the retrograde, especially faster moving planets like Mercury and Venus. Here you see at the end of the month, they're all clear. These are your 2 best planets. Venus is your ruler, Mercury ruling your 9th house of good luck, good fortune. Very, very nice indeed. So take a look at what I've got there also at the site astrology.com.au. I always put the monthlies there so you can interweave what I've said here, which is a general sort of skimming the surface of everything, a quick sort of Oracle Express as I call it, with the more detailed analysis there on the site. You've got your dailies, your weekly readings that I'm doing now that can add a little bit more weight to what's being said here. And by all means, drop me a line if you've got any technical queries. If you'd like a personal reading, I'm here to help you with that. Subscribe and look after yourself. That's the main thing. Be happy. Don't be too worried. That 4th house stuff can bog you down in the home life. Get your head out into some lovely creative stuff. And I look forward to your company again next month. Bye-bye, Libra.